Done that in the last 3 matches. We came back from the dead against Tipperary on 3 different occasions.
We have the big players that have been used to the Munster finals over the last few years, and we're going to take it today.
I think Limerick have better forwards than Waterford backline. I think the Waterford backline are pro, and I think Endo Shaughnessy is doing a good game, and I think today is going to be his day.
Limerick very determined side. Waterford going to have to hurl very well, but I think pure hurling, we're going to be the team to do it today.
So in the end, I feel that whether it be a very close game, I think we will be the people moving forward.
Well, back here on the Sunday Game Live, we concentrate now on the Munster Hurling final here at Semple Stadium in Thurles. Cyril Farrell and Tomas McCahey join me here in the studio. Welcome to the two of you. We'll be hearing from them in just a moment. But first, though, we're going to head to the commentary box for a check down through the two teams. Here's Ger Canning.
Thanks very much indeed, Michael. Waterford's team announced on Thursday night shows one change from the side that started against Cork 3 weeks ago. Kevin Moran from De La Salle is chosen in place of James Murray at the back. But as usual, the Daisha selectors treat us to another game of lucky numbers. So while the low numbers on the team will correspond with defenders, the higher numbers will be their attacking players. It's all designed, I suppose, to keep everybody guessing, in particular the opposition. Well, by comparison, Limerick make 2 changes from the 15 that started match 3 against Tipperary. Debian Rail was concussed in the early stages of that match, and Peter Lawler comes in to replace him. It means Mark O'Riordan donning the number 2 shirt and Lawler slotting into the half-forward line. And up front, Kevin Tobin is a somewhat surprising omission after his display in Portland Isle. The selectors opting for the much more experienced Barry Foley. Well, there is the President. She has made her way from commemoration ceremonies in Dublin this morning, along with the chairman there of the Munster Council, Jimmy O'Gorman, on the right of the picture. So she's here to enjoy a second provincial hurling final in 2 weeks. And last week was a mismatch between Kilkenny and Wexford. Let's hope this afternoon between Waterford, the favourites, and Limerick is a much more compelling affair. Little bit of mist falling overhead. So the presidential salute is concluded, and the president goes down and meets the Limerick team first of all, led by their captain Brian Geary. Might have been Debian Rail. Might also have been James O'Brien from Brewery, who is the official captain but not in the team. Down through, meeting the Morans there, Niall and Ollie. Mike Fitzgerald, of course, Andrew O'Shaughnessy, who's an army officer. There's Mike O'Brien, who'll be in the middle of the field this afternoon. And then the team of officials led by Seamus Roach. Doesn't have terribly far to go from County Tipperary, man in charge this afternoon, and a man who of course has handled All-Ireland finals in the past and Leinster finals, and indeed National League finals as well. And then it's the turn of Waterford to be introduced, and their captain is Michael Walsh, known as Michael Brick Walsh, from Stradbally. And down through his players, chance to meet each and every one of them. Dan the Man, as they call him. Then Owen Murphy, we'll be seeing him a little bit later on with his yellow helmet. The familiar figure there of John Milan, another one of the De La Salle players. And down along through the list of Waterford and Limerick players. Right, we'll be back here in Thurles in just a moment.
Welcome back again to Semple Stadium in Thurles. Almost all set to go then for the Munster Hurling final of 2007. Unfortunately, the rain has come down quite heavy. The President, as you can see, has made her way back into the stand. It is pouring down rain here at the moment. These heavy showers that we are having, of course, around the country at the moment. John O'Donoghue is there as well. I'm sure, like the rest of us, looking forward to it. I was talking to one of the Gardaí here a little bit earlier on. One Ollie Baker, former Clare great, of course, and also looking forward to the match as well as being on duty here today. Okay, as I said, and Cyril Farrell with us here in studio. Tomas, Munster Hurling finals, you're all about them, great occasions, but this is something special in all the special ones.
Absolutely, Michael, and coming up this morning there and even getting to the square in Thurles, I mean, the atmosphere is electric, you know, huge crowd from Limerick, huge crowd from Waterford. It's fantastic, and we're all looking forward to a fantastic game of hurling, which I'm sure we're going to get, you know. Waterford probably are going in there as favourites on the basis of their experience being in Munster finals over the last couple of years, getting to All-Ireland semi-finals, but you've got to hand it to Limerick to get to the Munster final, the way they've come through with those 3 matches against Tipperary, and this never say die attitude. I'm sure we're going to see some of that again today from Limerick as well.
You are, Cyril, as a Galway man, you've just seen what the tag of favourites can do in the Connacht football final, so Limerick have every chance here.
They have a fantastic roar here when they went up. The Galway were beaten by the way. That's what it's all about. Everyone loves the underdog. Now the underdog today is Limerick. They're not as far advanced as Waterford are over the last few years. You'd have to say Waterford in the top 3 over the last few years, along with Kilkenny and Cork. But Limerick have say I know they have a Munster final to lose, but in a sense they've nothing to lose because two games especially against Tip were so far behind. Now they'll be hoping today to do as they did the last day against Tip to get a good start and stay in there. Waterford at the same time will be hoping to get on top and stay on top, because if Waterford get 8 or 9 points up like Tip did, you couldn't see Waterford losing.
The last time that there was a final between this particular pairing, I heard Eamon Cregan on the radio earlier on this morning, 1934 I think it was, his father was playing it. I think tell you how far back we go on this.
Yeah, and I mean that's the beauty of Munster Hurling as well, Michael, you know, it hasn't been, I mean, okay, Cork have been involved in the last few and stuff like that, but it's great to see that the strength of Munster Hurling is that there's other teams out there willing to get their chance, and when they get their chance to take it, and I mean it's fantastic, as Cyril said, for Limerick particularly, right? I mean, I think Limerick have made steady progress. I mean, this time last year they've left in turmoil, you know, and kind of selectors gone, coach gone, and this stage within a couple of months they're back in the Munster final, which is a fantastic achievement.
Before we go back to the commentary, Cyril, who's going to win?
I have a slight edge for Waterford. Like, they should win it. I think Waterford should win. If they don't win, they'll take a lot out of them, whereas they won't take as much out of Limerick to lose. Waterford should get there.
Yeah, I would go along the same lines as well. I think Waterford probably have more strength up front, you know, that the Limerick backs, certainly, I mean, Damien Reid is a big loss to Limerick today, you know, and Mark Reardon is coming in there, so I think the inside forward line for Waterford could swing it for them.
Okay, let's join our commentary team then here at Semple Stadium. It is Ger Canning with Michael Duignan.
The rain is pouring down. It could be a leveller, but what an atmosphere. It always is a huge atmosphere on Munster final day. It's self-creating. It's been that way for generations at Semple Stadium. I know the final has been in other places as well, but essentially this is the place everybody wants to be in July when the 2 best hurling teams in the province finally make it through all the different stages to get here to the final. And what a journey it has been for Limerick. And you think of those 3 matches, and what a game Waterford played against Cork. They're getting soaked up there on the hill at the town end. It's essentially where the Limerick supporters are to be found right now. And up at the Killinen end, away to our left, well, that is very definitely Waterford territory. The Artane band leading the way, creating their own little bit of atmosphere here. The fans expect the very best, and if the teams deliver of their very best, then, well, may the best team win. Will it be Limerick here, who've been without a success for 11 years, 1996. Waterford hoping to win it for the 3rd time this decade, all of them under the stewardship of Justin McCarthy. What a turnabout that has been when you go back to 2002 and you think that they hadn't won it at that stage for 39 years. Michael Duignan's alongside me. You never played in a Munster final. How would you define the atmosphere that is this very, very special day?
Well, it's unique, you know. I think in either hurling or football, the Munster final is something different. I think the town of Thurles has a lot to do with it. The crowd gather before the matches in the square. There's a fantastic atmosphere for 2 or 3 hours before the match, and then Thurles is the home of hurling in terms of playing. I only played there a couple of times in championship, but it's a fantastic surface. The crowd are close to you. In Croke Park are a bit more detached, and you know it hasn't got the same intimacy that Thurles has. But when you have 2 teams like Limerick and Waterford who haven't played each other, you know, in modern times, since 34, as we say, in a Munster final, it's a fantastic, unique occasion, and really everyone wants a fantastic game here today. You know, Waterford on form are the better team. They're playing at a higher standard over the last number of years, and their semi-final against Cork would be a way higher than standard hurling-wise than Limerick and Tip. But that's all in the past now. It's all about today. It's raining out there. I don't know if rain suits anyone, but it should make it, you know, make it more favourable. Two very physically strong teams, so I think you're going to have a physically hard, very tough game. And just looking at the teams coming out, Limerick looked far more relaxed than Waterford, which I was surprised with. Waterford looked to be really fired up for it, and it remains to be seen. You see Limerick now staying on the parade, and Waterford have broken away. So it's a huge match ahead of us, but I think Waterford have too much class for Limerick.
Different teams prepare in different ways, I guess. I met 3 men outside the ground around midday today. They travelled all the way down from Newry in County Down, and they've been down for every one of the Munster Championship matches this year so far. Haven't missed a game, wouldn't miss it for love nor money. Met a guard down below about an hour beforehand, checking the teams for this particular final. He was saying to me, who's winning the Connacht final? He's from Sligo, and he's a happy man.
And Jerry, you meet the most unusual people at Munster fans. They travel from all over the country. A few friends of mine came from Offaly to meet the northern people down there. I met Joe Hennessy from Kilkenny, Nicky English from Tip, Donny O'Connell, and I met 2 men, Liam Kelly and Arthur Kennedy, who cycled 70 miles from Bunclody, and they're going on to the Mizzen Head charity cycle after this. So all sorts of characters make the great occasion that it is.
It's an occasion which I know Billy Daniels from the Waterford 57 team is sadly missing today. He's in hospital in the Waterford Regional. Wish the very best. And Mary O'Brien and Breed Wallace, Mary's brother Mike, is going to be in the middle of the park for Limerick. They're watching it in Sydney.
1961 and 62. We extend our sympathy to the bereaved. Agus Queen Solace, Shiri, Doanan, Liam Connolly.
Well, this is a minute's silence for Liam Connolly, I think. Former player, sadly missed.
Solace of Lahas,
It's a sellout crowd, which means round about 45,000 people packed into Tom Semple's field, right in the heart of County Tipperary. It's Waterford who will play from left to right in the first half, which means they will play from the Kaleidon end, which you are looking at right now, down towards the town end. It also means they'll have a slight breeze behind them for the opening 35 minutes. Limerick haven't won the toss, opting to play against it. Referee Seamus Roach from Kilsheelan, Kilcash, County Tipperary.
Yeah, Ger, and young Mourne, as I heard during the week, gone to midfield. Jack Kennedy wing back, Ken McGrath centre back, Declan Prendergast full back, all changes. And Justin McCarthy is never going to change, I think, and make life easy on us. But you know, the game will settle down after a few minutes. You'd expect huge intensity early on. None of these players are laden down with too many medals. Waterford have 2 Munster championships. None of these Limerick players have a Munster medal, so they have an awful lot to play for.
I've often said it to him, Justin McCarthy taught Cherry Loughnane all about dummy teams. Just announce them and off you go, and the match underway. It's the 118th Munster Hurling final, and straight away it is Limerick who try to make some headway with Mike Fitzgerald from Doon, head down, determined fashion. They chase after little hook on it that time. Heat taken out of it, easy for Clinton Hennessy from Ardmore to make the clearance way down. stopped in there and stopped well by Peter Lawler. Helped and supported by Mike O'Brien, the farmer from Glenroe. Here's Big Begley, Brian Begley going to ground, slipping on the greasy turf there. Declan Prendergast is his marker. Comes back once again there towards Mike Fitzgerald. Kept at bay there, some 45 metres out. Good block the first time. Jack Kennedy getting in the block. A real pile up. The referee allows it to develop. And still it develops, and away came Stephen Malumphey that time. Launching a first attack. Knocked away once again by the Limerick cover. Comes into the centre of the park. Little dodge here by Mike O'Brien once again. Held well there by Brian Geary. Good ball ahead here. Barry Foley has a chance. Oh, it just slipped away from him like a bar of soap, unable to gain the control necessary, and it was a golden chance, and he knows it.
Gerard, what a chance so early in the game, and Barry Foley, very experienced campaigner, and just failed to pick it and gone away from it. But good start by Limerick. Mike O'Brien in the middle of the field on the ball. Stephen Lucy, good ground ball. Great start for Limerick.
Long puck out down towards Dan Shanahan, but won once again here by Limerick and Seamus Hickey, the 19-year-old student. Struggling to get it away, but does so successfully. In towards Brian Begley once again, stealing a march there once again, and Declan Prendergast. It's Brian Begley bearing it on goal, and it's gone for a 65. Good stop by Clinton Hennessy, but it should have been buried, and Limerick should have a couple of goals in the bag at this stage.
Yeah, Gerard, both of them coming from ground balls, you know, on the slippy surface, very hard to control it, and Brian Begley through really should have shortened his grip there and cut inside and buried that, and that's 2 goal chances, you know, that they're going to live to regret maybe later in the game.
So the first 65 of the match will be taken by Andrew O'Shaughnessy. Changed his helmet from green to red during the 3-game saga with Tipperary. Playing today in his 21st championship match. Still only 23 years of age. Seems to have been around for quite a while. So finally, after 3 attacks, can he put Limerick in the lead? And the answer is a very definite yes. Well, that's something they needed just to get their confidence going after the 3 attacks that they'd been building up. Clinton Hennessy. Battered, fumbled and lost. Brian Geary trying to regain it. Stepping in there is Stephen Malumphey with a white helmet, kicked ahead. Inside towards John Milan, peeling to the right-hand side. Taking on Seamus Hickey, little block on it, goes to the left-hand side, and the ball has gone wide. First chance of the match for John Milan from De La Salle. So just a point in it. A real helter-skelter start.
Yeah, Gerard, Waterford, you know, not used to being favourites for these big matches, and you know, they just don't look to be settling as well as normal, and Limerick looked much more fired up once the ball was thrown in. Before the game they looked very calm, so you know, Waterford they need a score to settle, but it's all Limerick at the moment.
Well, we know that Limerick will bring their insatiable desire, their indomitable spirit with them. Let's see if they can turn it into a winning formula, as Michael Walsh fires it back down once again towards John Milan, and that time he was being tugged by Seamus Hickey. Wins a free for Waterford. Referee goes across, has a little word with the left corner back. There he is, jersey being pulled back, and there's a ticking there for the young man from Maru Boher.
Yeah, Gerard, in the tip matches, you know, Seamus Hickey looks a fantastic young cornerback, brilliant hurler, but Seamus Butler rounded him a couple of times for tip, you know, and got away from him, and he can't afford to let Milan around him because Milan is even faster than Butler.
Here's Owen Kelly now playing for the Passage Club. It curls beautifully, sways inside the left-hand post and goes over the bar. Nice score by Owen Kelly. Took the responsibility on his shoulders. So the opening 2 scores in this final coming from place balls, and it's 1 point apiece. Brian Murray playing in his 2nd championship season. Has been inclined to go short on occasions in the matches we've seen so far. This is won easily by Michael Brick Walsh. Fires it back from some 65 metres out, and this time it tails left. Good opportunity, good chance. Unable to make the most of it, however. Has a vital battle to win in the middle of the park this afternoon. Michael Brick Walsh lining up there alongside Kevin Moran, number 3 on his back, 19 years of age. Missed by Moran this time, won instead by Donal O'Grady. Left behind there, Mike Fitzgerald stepping in, coming across here to take it. Tony Brown getting it back down once again, batted away. Followed up there well by Mark Foley. Waterford players out after it quickly. This is Seamus Prendergast from Ardmore, supported there by Paul Flynn. Inside once again it comes towards Malumphy. Little hand pass into the clear. Nobody there in a white shirt waiting for it, however. One back instead. Stephen Lucy trying to get the ball away. Fired away off his left-hand side. Regained, taken down very neatly indeed. Once again it is Tony Brown providing the ammunition inside. Seamus Prendergast. Oh, what a good stop. Came bouncing away that time off Peter Lawler. Comes back out to a Limerick player. Comes out towards Donal O'Grady. He was held. Free to Limerick. Point apiece. 6.5 minutes gone in the first half.
Yeah, Jared, some great flick here by Peter Lawler coming up. Just fantastic. And Peter Lawler, great hurler. You know, back in the team because of Damien Rail, but a great hurler. But I think Limerick backs will take a lot of comfort from that passage of play. You know, they really kept the Waterford forwards outside them. They wouldn't let them turn and attack them, and that's what they need to do for the whole game.
Could be the key to this match, how they play that 6 group of Limerick backs. Oh, it's all the way, and it's Begley back of the net from the free in the 7th minute.
With a hint of a square ball, I thought, Gerber, we'll see in the replay here now. Can't really see him.
Just watch where he is. He's right on the edge.
He's definitely in the square, Gerber, before the ball.
The umpire
anyway,
had a good look at it. It counted. And it's his 6th ever championship goal. And in reply, Owen Kelly puts it over. The angled shot, his 2nd of the day. And Limerick leading by a goal and a point to Waterford's 2 points. This is Kelly once again getting away fleet-footed and driving it over wonderfully well.
Yeah, and he's playing at centre forward, you know, maybe to expose a perceived lack of pace for Brian Geary, but the game is beginning to hot up.
It certainly is that. In the centre of the park. This is Mark Foley leaving it behind here, rolled up once again towards Michael Brick Walsh. Outside once again to Dan Shanahan. Dan Shanahan letting it fly, and Dan Shanahan firing it inside the left-hand post, and it's over the bar, and it's his 1st of the day. And Waterford's response is a very rapid one indeed. Only 1 between them. This is a very, very good score created by Michael Walsh outside for Dan Shanahan. Brilliant shooting. Oh, what a reply to that Begley goal. Puck out, won once again here. This time it's won by Kevin Moran. Left behind, Mike Fitzgerald. Head down once again, going forward in determined fashion. On his left-hand side, firing it, but firing it outside is put it wide. Missed opportunity there for Mike Fitzgerald from Doon. Really good opportunity for the young Garda. Puck out by Clinton Hennessy. Down towards Dan Shanahan's corner, being marked over there by Mark Foley. Could be quite a scrap, that one. Again, stalemate, won and won well. Taken neatly by Stephen Lucy once again. Limerick-based Doctor gets it forward. Mike Fitzgerald chasing for it over there. It's left behind. Challenges coming in. Again it is Fitzgerald. Off his left this time, and this time he has the range perfectly, and it's over the bar. He kept on trying, and the perseverance paid off, and it's a goal and 2 to 3 points.
Ger, and Michael Fitzgerald's a big addition to the Limerick forward line this year. Played super against Tip in the last 2 games, and you know Jack Kennedy's not used to wing back, so you know he's under pressure there from the start against Fitzgerald.
Here's Malumphy once again, steaming forward from the 20-metre line, couldn't miss from there. Very, very good shot. They go attack after attack, score after score.
Yeah, it's very free-flowing, Jerry. You know, I was saying this morning in the paper, in an article in the paper, that I thought it'd be that type of game. You know, maybe an innocence about it, no great tactics, and just the ball moving from end to end, and some great scores and a great first 10 minutes.
Well, we're enjoying the innocence. Long may it continue. Into the centre of the park. Michael Brick-Walsh breaks it down. Tony Brown tries to get it, but so too is Ollie Moran. Man who starred against Tipperary. Fed ahead beautifully there for Mike O'Brien on his left-hand side, but he's cracked it outside this time. Wasted opportunity for Mike O'Brien, the 29-year-old farmer, and that's a third wide now for Limerick. 3 scores for them so far, but the all-important crucial goal coming from Brian Begley after 7 minutes. There's an injury to Mike Fitzgerald. And straight away the medical officers are in to attend to him. Barry Heffernan, who is the physio, and Dave Boylan, of course, team doctor. Everybody knows Richie Bennis. What a job he's done in the last 12 months, energising Limerick's fortunes, lifting them big time. Dave Moriarty there, the trainer, alongside him. He's okay. That's big Mike Fitzgerald. Puck out coming up from Clinton Hennessy. All the way down, sun in the eyes of the Limerick backs. Runs on neatly there for John Milan, who's come across from right to left. And a brilliant shot from Milan. Again he finds the target. First of the day in this particular game, but he's hitting them this season with some regularity. And it's 5 points to a goal and 2, so the sides are level.
Yeah, and the sun, very bright sun now. You know, Milan showed his experience. He let 3 or 4 go for the ball and just waited for the break. And really, that's 3 great points in a row from Milan, Shanahan, Malumphey, and Owen Kelly actually before that. So 4 great points from play, and Waterford beginning to move well. But Limerick will be delighted with their start as well. You know, they're all square, and I thought Limerick, you know, needed to settle well, and they have settled well. And if they're in it with 10 or 15 minutes to go, those games against Tips are going to stand them. They know they can win in a tight finish. So Waterford will be looking to get away. Limerick will be trying to stay with them, and that's what's going to make it so intriguing.
Not sure what happened to Seamus Prendergast, but it's an eye injury, and concern for Justin McCarthy, but he's able to put that red helmet back on, get back into the fray immediately, playing it full forward. He's been marked by Stephen Lucy. Play will continue with a puck out for Limerick. Brian Murray again going long into the half-forward line. Again, it's won back, this time by Tony Brown, the Mount Sion player, supported by Ken McGrath, wearing number 7, but playing at centre-half back as per usual. And in spite of the best efforts of John Milan, unable to keep that ball in play. And certainly Seamus Hickey has been given a marking job to do for the afternoon. That is to go everywhere and anywhere after John Milan. Here he is taking the line ball, the former St. Flannan's player, towards Mike Fitzgerald. Does well, keeps it moving there ahead of Kevin Moran, putting the pressure there on Declan Prendergast, beating everybody, but it did touch a defender last, and it's gone for a 65, the second of the game. So pressure once again on Ken McGrath's goal, organising his defence there in the company of Clinton Hennessy. Rain has eased, plenty of clouds overhead, but some blue skies to report as well. Day of mixed fortunes. Teams level. Chance for Andrew O'Shaughnessy to change all of that. Scored with his first 65. Catches it well, directs it beautifully, and it's straight over the bar.
Sorry, Ger, there's 2 huge 65s now into a slight breeze, but Andrew O'Shaughnessy, as you said earlier, is around for so long and really maturing into a top player this year, and they're going to give him great confidence.
Another man who's been around for a while is Dan Shanahan. Low ball across here. Malumphey turning, and the umpire says yes. Little nod from one to the other, and Stephen Malumphey has got his second point. He's playing at left half forward. He's been marked by Peter Lawler, and Lawler will have to stay very, very tight on him.
It was a brilliant first touch in those conditions. The ball skidded off the ground, and Malumphey's got 2 great points since the game started.
Brian Murray's puck out, varying it this time, changing it to the left-hand side. Again, Waterford there, strong, dominant, but it's won by Niall Moran, who switched across from right to left, leaving it there for Ken McGrath. However, they try to keep it in play, all in vain. It's going to be a line ball in spite of the best efforts of Tony Brown, former hurler of the year. Mind you, that is back 9 years ago now. Still a very, very fit 33-year-old Tony Brown. Vital part of the Waterford defence. And it'll be Niall Moran who'll take it, and he's well capable of putting it over, but he's hitting it with his left-hand side. Might prefer it on the opposite flank. Yeah, just screwed away off the stick. Didn't do him any favours, the particular angle he was confronted with. So it's still Waterford 6, Limerick 1-3. So more pressure once again now for Limerick to contend with, and that time I think the referee is indicting Mark Foley, the number 7, for a foul there on Dan Shanahan. It's going to be a free in.
Yeah, Mark Foley is fantastic against Tipperary, but he's given it at least 6 inches, I'd say, to Dan Shanahan today, and Dan used his strength there. Just him holding him off there, and you know, Foley knew a point from a free was a lesser evil than a goal, but you know, with Paul Flynn around, nah, it's out a little bit to the left. He won't be going for a goal from this one.
Interesting that while that bit of action was happening at one end, Gary Kirby went in to have a word with the goalkeeper Brian Murray, just to have a word with him. I think about the puck outs. Owen Kelly's going to take this. Suits him. Right side for him to knock it over the bar. No difficulty. That's his 3rd score of this match. And it's Waterford who leading by 7 points to 1-3.
I think, Jerry, you're right about those puck outs. They're not winning anything down this side. Michael Walsh and Tony Brown and Ken McGrath, I think they should be trying to find Mike Fitzgerald on the far wing. He started very well. Jack Kennedy has no experience at wing back, and they want to be pucking the ball down there and trying to win from that side.
So Waterford in front for the first time in this game. And again it is Limerick, this time winning their puck out. This time it's Niall Moran to switch across to the right-hand side. The angle ball inside here towards Brian Begley. Balanced well and controlled by Declan Prendergast, linking up with Clinton Hennessy. And the goalkeeper from Ardmore sweeps it away downfield. Questions asked of the Limerick half-back line, in particular Mark Foley there trying to get it away. It's John Milan instead. Little hand pass inside. Couldn't quite get it as far as his target. His intended recipient was Dan Shanahan, and Hickey got in really, really quickly. Good play by the 19-year-old. Line ball to Waterford. They lead in the 18th minute.
Yeah, no more than Niall Moore and Paul Flynn will fancy himself with this one. He hasn't really been in the game since it started, but he's capable of putting these things over, despite, you know, other players need to play themselves into the game. He doesn't. We saw that the last day. The first puck was a goal against Cork.
Yeah, he's quiet for a long time, and then he ends up with a goal and 3 or something.
Exactly, yeah, one of those great players.
Well, didn't catch it this time. Easy.
Of course.
Taken here and taken well by Mark O'Riordan. Swept away. It's Niall Moran who added to it, trying to follow it up himself there. Little jersey pull. Tony Brown gets it back towards a colleague intended there for Owen Murphy, who was in difficulty at times against Cork. This time pressure applied by Barry Foley. Good pressure applied by the corner forward, and the defenders having to defend, and it's going to be another line ball, this time to Limerick.
I'm not going to say anything about this one, Gerard, after the last one. Barry Foley wanted to take the last one, so Niall Moran hit it wide, so we'll see will Barry do any better.
Barry Foley, who has a Munster medal, of course, going back to 1996. Didn't catch it all that well. Straight into the hands of Owen Murphy. Going back to make a better angle for himself, having to follow it up now. And it's stolen away from him by Brian Begley, but the line ball is going to be to Waterford. All are in general agreement with that. Plenty to consider for the fans so far, and for the team manager Justin McCarthy, looking for a 3rd success Munster level with his adopted county of Waterford. Crowd telling Owen Murphy from Shamrocks to hurry it up a little bit. Shamrocks in Knockanore again didn't make a great deal of connection with that. Tony Brown coming to the assistance, takes the shoulder there from Begley, back up onto his hands and knees again. Ken McGrath steaming forward, running through 2 challenges that time, virtually indestructible. Referee says play on, they do. Down as far as Kevin Moran, launches it from a distance, but he puts it to the left, into the town end, and he puts it wide. And he had other options because there were other players in there waiting for it, and that's 3 wides now for Waterford, who continue to lead.
Yeah, and the Limerick backs making it very hard on the Waterford. The Limerick forwards making it very hard on the Waterford backs. Normally Tony Brown, Cameron Grab be walking out with those balls, but they're getting hit in possession, and they're making it very difficult.
Malumphey breaks it. Steaming in here is Brian Geary. leaving it behind. Malumphey coming once again, chased after by Donal O'Grady. Malumphey, referee says play on, you were fouled, but keep it going, and he does. It's stopped in there by Stephen Lucy. Lucy pursued there by Seamus Prendergast, gets the ball away. Huge clearance, 50-60 metres downfield. Caught brilliantly there by Ken McGrath. Back once again for Waterford. The angle ball inside towards Dan Shanahan, runs beyond him. Mark O'Riordan from Croom in there. Goalkeeper comes out. It's a terrible clearance. It's straight at Dan Shanahan. Little shoulder there from Mark Foley, and in the end it's Mark O'Riordan who gets the ball away. Limerick living dangerously at one end into the centre of the park. Malumphey chasing after it. Everybody pursuing it. That's Kevin Moran. Won back once again here by Mike O'Brien this time, and O'Brien fires it into the inside forward line beyond Barry Foley, taken up instead by Brian Begley. Begley turning, Begley looking at the target, Begley shooting it over the bar. A goal and a point now for big Brian Begley, and the Limerick fans loving it, and the sides are level once again, level for the fourth time. It's a cracker of a Munster final here at Semple Stadium in Thurles. Showed his determination, got well away from Declan Prendergast, had the composure to strike it over the bar. Back at the other end, Limerick having to fight, defend valiantly. Seamus Prendergast trying to make some headway. Malumphey's in there as well, out by Lucy. Comes out here as far as Mark Foley. Foley driving it away off his left-hand side this time. Up towards Ollie Moran, broken there. Falls into his brother, Niall Moran, and Waterford win it back. It's with Dan Shanahan once again off his left-hand side. It's a big one, it's a huge one, it's an accurate one from Dan. And that's his second of the day so far. 2 shots at the target for Dan Shanahan, and the Lismore man has cracked over 2 points.
Gerald, there's 2 of the best points you're ever going to see. You know, Brian Begley before that great first touch, but look at Tony Brown here. The 2 Morans got in each other's way, and if you remember Dan's last point from out there, it was off his right side, that's off his left side, and that's a great example to anyone watching. It should make no difference at this level.
2 teams giving it absolutely everything. Here's Tony Brown once again, on towards Dan Shanahan, who's marking him. He's getting a lot of ball, and this time he's missed his opportunity. Flops a very good chance. He's arguing the point that it went over the bar. Didn't quite see it from here, I have to say.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a lazy stroke. Sometimes that can happen. You have too much time, and it's definitely well wide. Yeah.
Well, he's arguing the toss. Can't quite agree with you there, Dan. I think it's wide. Tony Brown, meanwhile, requiring some attention. So Peter Kerwin, who is the physio, out to attend to him immediately. They're playing at some pace.
Yeah, Gerard, but the 2 wing backs, Peter Lawler and Mark Foley, the 2 wing backs for Limerick are in a bit of trouble. There's 4 points in play scored off them already, and you wonder would the benefit. I think Dan Shannon has too much physical power for Mark Foley, and Mark has been fantastic against Tipperary, but he's definitely in bother today, and I think maybe there's a change needed there.
Well, the doc is there as well. Dr. Tom Higgins, Waterford medical officer. Richie Bennis with some more of the selectors down there with words to impart. It's quite a team he's assembled, and he's okay. You've got Anthony O'Riordan down there, Richie himself, Tony Hickey, Bernie Hartigan, they're all there. Well, brains trust looking after Limerick's fortunes just now. They're behind by a point. Donal O'Grady lofting it from some distance. What a score by Donal O'Grady. Huge one. Just inside the 65-metre line, but close to the sideline when the hand pass was played out to him. And it's Waterford 8 points, Limerick 1-5, level yet again. Back come Waterford, trying to steal in front. There's Niall Moran back helping out. Back in a left corner back position, been directed by Stephen Lucid to play it up the other end. Touchdown by Geary. One here by Seamus Hickey. Stopped in his tracks by Owen Kelly, and the referee is in very, very quickly to blow the whistle as Seamus Hickey lies on the ground, and he's already been ticked, and he's in considerable distress here. Just let's see what happens. Went after it, lost his way.
He seems to be in a fair bit of bother, Gerard. You wonder if Damien Real, how bad his concussion has been. Yeah, he's just coming out with the ball there. Good shoulder there by Owen Kelly, and
yeah. It could have been the stick.
It was Seamus Prendergast coming into blocking. There was no intent there, but he did get a strike down in the back. But he'd normally be okay after a belt like that.
Well, he's a resilient young player. Played in last year's Harty Cup final and starred throughout his college's career with St. Flannan's. Came in and made an immediate impression with the Limerick seniors.
And he would definitely be a serious contender for Young Player of the Year at this stage, you know. And as I said, Limerick, with Damien real doubtful with that concussion, they really couldn't afford to lose him as well now.
If the referee has seen him fouling as he was playing that ball away, then he's going to get a card because he's already been ticked. It's going to be interesting to see just what the referee
He'll feel a lot worse after that.
do.
I think if he just got a slap of the hurl down, he should be fine as long as he didn't pull anything. But maybe there's a bit of gamesmanship here too. Maybe trying to avoid the card. You know, you never know sometimes with lads. But and he got away with it.
He certainly did.
He got away with the card, and I think the ref came over initially to book him. Or is
that appeared to be the way, but there wasn't any card flashed, and he's okay. And the physio's looking after him, and it'll continue with a Waterford free.
Maybe that's fair enough after getting a knock like that. Maybe you need a rub of the green every now and again.
So Owen Kelly ready to take 3 points so far, teams level. 2 frees so far taken by Kelly. This one comes off the post, goes to the left hand side and just drifts away aimlessly out over the end line. Mist begins to come down again, sad to report. Crowd are enjoying the game, however. 2 teams giving it absolutely everything they've got on a day when Sligo have already been crowned football champions in the West. Dramatic day for them. A tense, dramatic and historic afternoon in Hyde Park, which we've already brought you on the Sunday game. Now who's going to win here in the Munster Hurling final? It's Limerick in the green, streaming forward here. Niall Moran, 45 metres out, cracking it off his left, but putting it to the right. And no joy for him so far. He hasn't scored, nor has his brother Ollie managed to score so far.
Crucial few minutes now, though, Ger. Like, Limerick have been working very, very hard. They can't afford to drop their concentration for a second. Between now and half time, if they can stay in it, until half time, they're going to feel with the wind in the second half. They'll have every chance.
Here comes Owen Kelly, ran right across the line to take that one. Good understanding with the forwards in there. John Mullane steaming in, great save, excellent piece of goalkeeping by Brian Murray, and it's cleared away in the end there by Marco Reardon. Well, that was a certain goal, and John Mullane knows it, and he curses his luck. Watch again here, great combined play, in he came, it was a tight enough angle, but the keeper stood up, did really well, and a good clearance.
Yeah, you'd imagine, Gerard, John Mullane should have come inside with that ball, you know. Mullane had loads of time to come in there off his right side and bury it, and he left it at a nice height for the goalie. It looked a great save, but really he should have brought it in 3 or 4 more yards and buried it.
That's, I think, what he's thinking as well, Michael. Meanwhile, at the other end, referee is just having some words. And the players, he's calling across. First of all, it's
Ken McGrath and Ollie
Moran and Ken McGrath, as you say. 2 of the senior men. Gary Kirby, who was a medal winner himself 11 years ago when Limerick last tasted success back in 1996. This Brian Geary lob inside towards the 20-metre line. Mike Fitzgerald trying to feed it in inside towards O'Shaughnessy, goes to ground. Referee says play on, they're battling. Barry Foley's battling. Waterford are standing firm and the referee blows the whistle. Well, you know, every time Brian Geary takes a free in, there's danger in there. The last time he did it, it resulted in a Brian Begley goal after 7 minutes. This time, it's going to be a free out. This is O'Shaughnessy, wrestled there by Aidan Carney. Everybody in then.
This is ridiculous, you know. Ken McGrath just trying to make a half yard to take the free, and O'Shaughnessy flicking it back as if it's going to make any difference in the full back line, you know.
Referee brings the ball out.
Now it could land in the square. That 10 or 15 yards is going to make a difference.
Well, let's see what Ken does. Ken McGrath playing in his 37th championship match. It's going to land about 20 metres out. What a catch by big Brian Geary. A big man at both ends of the field. Donald O'Grady now on his right-hand side. And he's out over the line. The linesman on the far side has determined. And the referee watches them play away, but he's signalled that the ball has got to come back, all the way back towards the 13-metre line, down at the Limerick end of the field. Just about 4 minutes to go to half-time. Stephen Lucy organising his defence. Just watch this again here. Moments earlier, that was Brian Geary, the centre half-back, making some catch. This time it comes out towards Niall Moran. Can't get the ball away swiftly enough. Waterford are quicker in their strokes and quicker in their movement, but this time John Milan goes unrewarded. And that's a goal on a point now that he has spurned in the last two attacks. And they're still level.
And Limerick have carried that savage determination, Ger, from the tip match into this game. They're absolutely fighting for every ball as if their life depended on it. And you'd have to say that Waterford are rattled. You know, they weren't expecting this sort of intensity. And, you know, if Limerick can keep this up, as I say, into the last 15 or 20 minutes, they're going to take a lot of beating.
Well, John Milan will be hoping for a bit better luck with his shooting. 4 shots so far, only 1 point in the centre of the park. Dan Shanahan leaves it there, and Mark Foley is fouled. Mullumphey has words with the referee. Mark Foley feeling the soreness, and Stephen Mullumphey gets a ticking for that last little knock. It's Brian Geary who will take this free. Hit some beauties in the matches against Tipperary. This is going to drop in towards Brian Begley once again. They wait for it. Barry Foley, goalkeeper comes. Clinton Hennessy under severe and enormous pressure there, out over the end line, and the umpire has decided that it's gone off a back. Waterford are protesting. Limerick want the umpire to stick to his guns and award the 65. That in the 33rd minute, it was severe pressure, and it's hotting up fiercely here, and the referee having words with Clinton Hennessy and 1 or 2 others.
Yeah, there's a few of them beginning to lose their rag a little bit, mostly Waterford, because Limerick are in their faces since the start of the game. And see inside in the square again now, they're really making it tough on them. You'd have to say there, I think the umpire got it dead right. You know, they don't change their minds anyway, as we all know, but it doesn't stop us arguing from time to time when we're out in the field.
Well, once the attention is complete, and once Brian Begley from Mungret is back up onto his feet again, the 65 will be taken by Andrew O'Shaughnessy. Remember, he's taken 2 65s so far. He's pointed both of them. The teams are level. But 2 minutes to go to half-time. But 45,000 people watch as O'Shaughnessy drives it high, and he's put it wide this time. Missed opportunity, and Richie Bennis curses his luck. But still his team have been very, very competitive. That's 6 wides by Limerick in the first half. Clinton Hennessy with the puck out, going towards left half forward this time. Broken down there by Kevin Moran. Mullumphey outside, intended for Seamus Prendergast, taking it in his stride, hooked well. Good play by Peter Lawler. Comes back once again to a very determined Seamus Prendergast on his left this time. Can he make it? And the answer is yes. Great score by Seamus Prendergast. Looked to be going nowhere. He was hooked well the first time, then went back, had a go, changed direction, got it on the left, and this was a superb score. Watch him again here, making it 9 points to 1-5. And that's Waterford's first score in some 12 minutes of this Munster final. Under pressure again here now, Ken McGrath. Linking up with Stephen Mullumphey, the army man. Big one down, caught there brilliantly by Mark Foley. Driven back once again, intended for Mike O'Brien. One instead, and one brilliantly by Tony Brown, under enormous pressure. Barry Foley tries to spoon it forward here, does so, takes a return ball there well from Ollie Boland. Goes to ground, needs a support player. Michael Brown was the support player, but instead it comes back to Waterford once again, and to the captain Michael Welch, and out over the line, off the Limerick player. It's a line ball, to Waterford. And
Tony Brown is right here. He was blatantly fouled there and no free. You know, I know the ref tried to let the game flow, but that could have resulted in a score for Limerick.
Well, we're into time added on for stoppages, and Limerick haven't scored for some 11 minutes, I think it is, 12 minutes. Cause of concern for them, but they're running a point behind. Very, very competitive and compelling Munster final. Tony Brown the taker. Great connection towards John Milan, swept away from him immediately there by Mark O'Riordan, who was razor sharp. So yet another line ball, and this one about to be taken by Owen Kelly, going short this time. Back to Michael Welch, return to Owen Kelly, trying to dodge. That's going away to the left hand side, and wasted chance, badly misdirected chance to put Waterford a couple of points in front. 7 wides for Waterford now at the end of this first half.
Yeah, and Kevin Moore was loose in the centre there, and that's maybe the third or fourth time since the start again that I felt the Waterford player should have passed it to a loose man outside. They look to be trying to get their own score, you know, maybe for their confidence, but you won't win matches like this without playing as a team.
Both sides creating plenty of scoring chances. Limerick have created 15, Waterford have created 17 so far. And Waterford will be happy that they've been the outsiders in the minds of many people coming into this game, but they have carried the fight to Waterford. Limerick right into Waterford's faces time and again, not allowing them to settle on the ball. That illustrated by the inside forward line of Shaughnessy, Begley and Foley. Whenever they get a chance, they're putting pressure on the opposing full-back line. Here's O'Grady, not the best of connections. Michael Welch gets it back. This is Aidan Carney once again, former college mate of Andrew O'Shaughnessy at St Colman's, returned again by Peter Lawler, spills away there. Ken McGrath nonchalantly takes it onto his right hand side, delivers down to Owen Kelly, won instead by Mark Foley out over the line, and it's a line ball in spite of the protestations there of the player who now plays for Passage and is furious with the decision. But it's going to be a line ball, or is it going to be thrown? It's going to be thrown.
I think Waterford have done Limerick a bit of fair to put Owen Kelly out on Mark Foley maybe 10 minutes ago, and Dan Shannon in full forward, and Dan Shannon have been dominating out there. They took him out of the game. A strange move by Waterford.
Well, Kelly, having kicked the ball into the stands, is going to have his name taken, I think. Can be a little petulant, as we have seen in the past. Needs to be careful, he's on a yellow. And that's the first yellow of this match.
Limerick will be the happier team, Ger, going in at half time. Yeah, just look back here again. No, he kicked the ball out. I know Kelly does stupid things, as you say, he can be petulant, but I just think Limerick are going to be happier going in at half time to slow the pace down the last 10 or 12 minutes. There's been very few scores, and Limerick like that. They want to keep it tight, and they're going to be thrilled going in at half time, only a point down.
The referee, having played nearly 4 minutes of injury time, ends this first half of the 118th Munster Hurling final. Brian Begley's goal after 7 minutes. They will debate it and discuss whether or not he was in the square when that ball came in from Brian Geary's delivery, but the referee and the umpires allowed it, and at half time not much to choose between them. Waterford just about edging it. It's Waterford 9 points, Limerick 1 goal and 5. We'll have analysis, we'll have discussion right after this.
We're at half-time in the Munster Hurling final between Waterford and Limerick. Let's have a look at the statistics from the first half of this year's Munster final. Waterford then leading Limerick 9 points to 1 goal and 5 points. Waterford getting those 9 points from 6 scoring chances. Limerick's goal and 5, 6 scoring chances from 12 they had. 6 wides apiece and just 1 yellow card in the match. That, of course, was Owen Kelly, the Waterford forward, getting a little bit frustrated towards the end of that half. One other stat, by the way, Tomás McCahey and Cyril Farrell, who are here with me in studio. Limerick, Tomás, have not scored since the 23rd minute of the half.
Yeah, it's been a problem, Michael, for them, you know, even though they're playing with plenty of heart, plenty of desire, plenty of commitment. They are closing down Waterford. I mean, they've put an awful lot of pressure on the Waterford forwards when they've had possession themselves, but they're not scoring as much as they should be, certainly. And I mean, if I was Limerick now, I mean, I think Brian Begley has the Waterford backline under pressure, but there's not enough ball going in there. We saw every time the ball has gone in around the square, he's created a bit of havoc, but they're simply not giving enough ball inside there. And it's a problem they've had in the Tipperary matches as well. I mean, it took extra time to maybe finish off Tipperary in those games as well. So, I mean, they're still in the game. I'm sure they'll be the happier team at half-time. Waterford will be disappointed with the performance. It's not free-flowing the way Waterford like it. It's not open the way Waterford like it, And even still, I mean, you would have to say when the goal went in for Brian Begley, they had two wonderful opportunities before that, in the first 5 minutes of the match, to actually push away and put on the pressure on Waterford. Waterford, coming in as favourites, are finding it hard to actually handle that pressure at the moment.
Limerick don't seem to drive in this high ball into the big forwards until the game has kind of gone a little bit sort of loose, as it does usually in the second half or towards the end of it if they're behind.
Yeah, but today now, to be fair to them, they have closed down Waterford, and they've taken the game to Waterford. And as Tomas says, like early on, they got two brilliant chances to goals that they didn't take, and they get one in out of the blue. As you say, not many going in, but a high ball. Now Begley is very strong in there. They are causing trouble in there, but so by the same token, so are the Waterford forwards. Like, they're causing problems as well. But Waterford want to be very careful, because they are a bit petulant, and like they're questioning. Okay, there's a few doubtful decisions, but they're being to question the referee now. Owen Kelly has got for kicking the ball with yellow card, but there's a few more of them, and things can happen for them.
Seamus Roach is straight on that kind of stuff as well. So
there is a bit of frustration coming into the play of Waterford, because it's not going their own way. And you also see there certain things earlier was once or twice. They seem to be playing very much as individuals there. I mean, Milan shoot from impossible angles there, I mean, that the pressure's on them, that maybe everybody thinks they have to win it on their own, whereas before they were playing at a team, fell in a better position, they were giving them the ball and the scores were coming more easily.
Let's go back, Cyril, to that goal that Brian Begley got. Now we're going to have a close look at this, because there's a big question mark about this being a square ball.
Yeah, well, okay, you could argue that he's just slightly inscrutable. You wouldn't blame him in there, because he has the physique and this ball goes in high, you know what I mean? Like, Geary's having a great game as well up the middle, and so is Lucy. Long high ball coming, the Waterford back should be really up and blocking it. Now he gets up a one-handed swing back in the net. Now there's nothing the goalie Clinton Lindsay can do. If you look at it closely, you'll probably find that he just is inside the square. But Michael, in a situation once you find that, like, it's very hard to cut. He's just on the square. No, it's really inside it.
He is inside the square, so it's a free out. I mean, I think there is a free out, being honest with you. It's a square ball, and the two umpires are standing right behind there. I mean, the referee's out the field when he sees it. I think the umpires look at this and they say,
when he connects on the ball, Tomas, so if you look at it very closely, the hurl is outside the square, not inside. He reaches out, flicks it back in. It's very hard for umpires to see that. And most times, them goals are going to be counted, and it really set up Limerick, because I put them in the driving seat. They were kind of dictating the pace, and as against Tipton, they got a few scores, and it was keeping them in the game. Limerick don't mind low scoring early on, because they feel as it goes on and on. Now, Waterford have to open up the game. They want to get hurling more, and as Tomas says, play more as a team, open up. They have the pace and they have the force to do it. But like even against Cork the last day, their backs, there's question marks about them, and there's still question marks today about them.
It probably isn't happening for one or two of the players in that situation. Like Brian Flynn hasn't seen too much of the ball at all. As an individual performance, though, Dan Shanahan has scored some fantastic points.
Yeah, and that was a worry for Limerick in the first half. Every time they went down and they got a score, maybe they pushed them ahead. The ball was no sooner pucked out and it was down the field, and here you see Dan Shanahan. I mean, he's got terrific scores, and I mean, again, taking the ball here, this is one off his right hand. It is a fantastic score, and I mean, he's leading by example, certainly. And I mean, there's a lot of rotation in the Waterford forward line. He ended up a full forward on one stage. I mean, it's a great pass, flick out with the one hand and over the bar on the right hand side. And he's shown his ability to be able to strike both hands, left and right. I mean, here we see the second point coming as well. I think, again, it's a breaking ball that's there.
It's a touch,
and I mean, one look,
associated with the Munster final.
Absolutely, one look again, right, and knows where the post is. A fantastic score, and certainly, I mean, Dan seems to be on his game, and get him more involved in the play again, and I'm sure he will do damage in the second half.
Well, that was Dan. He certainly made his contribution in the first half. You mentioned the two scoring chances that Limerick had early on in the game, but Waterford had a great goal chances when John Milan, it was a good save by the keeper, but could he have done more here, Cyril?
I could have, yeah. This ball breaks inside. Now Milan, like, for a man of his experience, like, again, Owen Kelly floats this in. Now, again, let's see both sets of backs are under pressure. This ball is going to break inside. Now Milan gets on it. Like, he should have carried on here. The angle, it's a good save, but the angle is impossible. Watch it again now. Yeah. No one on it could gone in the whole way.
The angle is very tight. I mean, if he takes another couple of steps in, he has the option then whether he wants to strike right or left, right?
Yeah.
And if the fullback comes to him, right, there's a hand pass to square to Paul Flynn at that stage, and no better man in a position like that.
They are taking the wrong options, though, not the Waterford players. They're not playing as a unit. But like, everyone is saying like Limerick are in the happy position. Okay, they are. but there's 35 minutes. There's a slight breeze with Limerick. That's not going to win it. In actual fact, you'll find that the Waterford forwards would probably prefer playing against the breeze. There'll be nothing going wide much, and they'll be coming out to take fellas on, which they're good at. Like Waterford, it's still there for Waterford to win, but like Tomas said, maybe being favourites doesn't suit them, because they are hot favourites. Their supporters won't hear of losing Munster. They're talking about winning the All-Ireland, so there's pressure on them to win this one. If they have to stand up, if they are going to win the All-Ireland, they have to win this one.
Pressure on them to win, but they are leading the match. The second half of the Munster Hurling final coming your way in just a few minutes. The Waterford team just back out on the field here. Limerick out as well, so let's go back to our commentary team then again. Let's go back to Ger Cannigan, Michael Duigan.
So just a point in it at the break. It's 9 points for Waterford, 1-5 for Limerick, and Seamus Roach gets the second half underway immediately, and it is Limerick who tear into the first attack with Donal O'Grady here. Little hand pass ahead into the corner here to Barry Foley. Out over the sideline, however. Brian Begley. Still discussions about whether or not it was a square ball or not. I think many people, when they look at the pictures, will say he was a foot, maybe 2 feet inside the square. But
well, I'll have to say it was, Ger. I said it was a square ball, so I'm going to stick by my guns, even though Cyril thinks the hurl was outside the square. But anyway,
the important thing that matters is that scoreboard that you can see up there in the top left-hand corner. Cut in there well by Aidan Carney. One back again here by Mike O'Brien. Started very prominently, stopped there by Stephen Malumphy. Limerick haven't scored now since the 24th minute of the first half. Looking for something special here. In towards O'Shaughnessy, breaks down. Won well once again by Declan Prendergast, wearing the number 6 on his back. The clearance is only out as far as Peter Lawler. Nice and composed, driving it, but driving it to the right. And the Limerick fans can't believe it. That is 8 wides now by Limerick in this game so far. A lot of missed chances.
Yeah, Ger, I never cease to be amazed though, and we're all the same hurling. When you have too much time on the ball, sometimes it's an awful thing. The times you're under pressure, you tend to get scores. And Peter Lawler there with a very bad wide there with no one on him.
Comes out into the centre again here. Mike O'Brien once again. This time it's returned by Tony Brown. Angling this ball towards John Milan, and the referee saw a foul. The player who was fouled was Marco Reardon. Footballer and hurler Marco Reardon. Here he is in pursuit with John Milan. There you are, a little push, very subtle.
Yeah, interesting. Jerry was saying earlier that Seamus Hickey, maybe given the job of Mark Milan, but Seamus has wouldn't have the same pace maybe as Mark Reardon, and Limerick management saw that and made the change very quickly, and and good management there, which we've seen all year from Bennis and Gary Kirby.
Yeah, Hickey is now over on Paul Flynn, who is top of the left. Haven't seen very much of Paul Flynn. Here's Kevin Moran once again. Back up towards Paul Flynn. Here he is, bounces off him. Breaks down towards Seamus Prendergast. One back by Hickey once again. Driving it back into the Waterford half of the field. Ken McGrath slipping and sliding, picking it up. Did he pick it off the ground? I think he did. Pleads his innocence, referee not having any of it. There it is again as he went down to ground. There he is, ball down, ball hopping, ball bouncing, and in the end, wait for it, there you are. We have ways and means. Andrew O'Shaughnessy, 2 65s pointed so far. This is from a fair old distance out. And that's a beauty. First of the second half. O'Shaughnessy puts the teams level for the 6th time.
Yeah, unusual to see a game into the second half before you get a free, and that's Andrew O'Shaughnessy's first free today. And Owen Kelly has only scored 2 for Waterford, so Seamus Roach trying to let the game flow.
Broken down again by Donal O'Grady in midfield for Limerick. Difficult to hold. Here he is once more. O'Grady trying to establish some kind of a foothold down the centre of the park. That's stolen away brilliantly there by Ken McGrath from Brian Begley. Pressure still on, however. Comes to Mike Fitzgerald off his left-hand side, looking for the score, and he's got it. He's threatened, he's promised. In the end, he has delivered. And Limerick shoot into the lead here. It's a 1-7 to 9 points. Mike Fitzgerald's score.
Yeah, great score from Mike Fitzgerald again there, but Ken McGrath's on the ground all through this. and it's not like Ken to go down. But Limerick again have started the second half very brightly. They seem to be that bit more committed, and a silly free by Ken, and now he's down injured, and Waterford can't afford to lose a player like Ken McGrath.
Oh, absolutely. He is going to be a very serious loss if anything happens here, because Limerick have gone into the lead for the first time since the 17th minute of this match.
Yeah, just gone down over here, and Niall Moore, just in over the top. And it's that type of game, it's hard to keep your foot, it's raining 1 minute, it's dry the next, and you're going to get knocks like that, and we see Seamus Hickey earlier for Limerick getting a similar type knock.
Well, I think he'll be back on his feet fairly quickly. Thankfully he didn't get a knock to the head that time. I thought he might have...
He's a very brave type of player, and with no helmet. But Jerry, you're just talking about maybe him being injured and bringing on a sub. I think there'll be a lot of subs on both teams that'll be looking out on the field, and some players aren't going that well, and both teams, the two Tobins, James O'Brien, players like that played very well against Tip. And on the Waterford side, Brian feeling very disappointed, say he's not on wing back today with a corner forward going back. So these players aren't going to, they're going to be saying to the manager, we want to be on there if someone is not performing. So the changes will be very important.
Well, Ken is shaken, but he's still there. Bear in mind that Limerick used 24 players during the 3 matches against Tipperary, so they'll be itching some of those to get on. In particular, I'm sure the Tobin brothers, Kevin and Pat, down in the centre of the park. Injured right now, Seamus Prendergast back on his feet, thankfully. This is what happened here as he was coming to make this his, running into Niall Moran.
That was no free, Joe. He lost control of the ball. Niall Moran stood his ground and maybe making up for the last one there where Ken McGrath got hurt, but I certainly didn't see a free there.
It gives Waterford a chance of getting their first score of the second half. Ken McGrath, 65 metres out, well capable of putting this over the bar. Listen to the cheer, but it's a Limerick cheer you're hearing, not a Waterford one, because he has put it to the right. Still Limerick 1-7, that's 10 points. Waterford 9 points. The Waterford fans came here expecting their team to deliver, to play a bit better than this. But Limerick are putting it right up to them. Those 3 games have brought them on a lot. That's a great catch. That's brilliantly taken down by Tony Brown. Bottled up, however. Returned once again, and again it is Mike Fitzgerald right in the thick of the action, his second point of the second half. After that ball was spilled and lost under the intense pressure from the Waterford half forwards, in came Mike Fitzgerald, little shoulder there from Barry Foley, ball broke loose and Fitzgerald was there to pick it up. It's tough and it's intense, and Limerick are beginning to turn it on. Waterford now looking to respond quickly. Referee signals a free in the general direction of the Limerick goal. John Mullane inevitably in the thick of it, feeling the agony and the pain. Free to the Dacia men. This to be taken by Owen Kelly. 3 points scored by him in the first half.
This is a big free, Jared, just to settle them down. And Limerick they're so passionate since the start of the second half, and they're really with all guns blazing. He's hit it wide as well.
So 2 wides for Waterford at the start of the half. They failed to add to their half-time tally, and they have 9 wides now in all.
But Limerick are using their physicality. They did it against Tipperary, and I mean legal physicality. They're not doing anything. They're hitting hard, and their forwards in particular are fighting for every ball as if their life depends on. They're not letting Waterford out with it.
It's disciplined aggression indeed. That's taken brilliantly by Aidan Carney from Tallow that time. Tried to get the ball away. Michael Breck-Walsh coming in here to give the leadership. Across diagonally over there towards Owen Kelly. Runs on, but it's stopped there by Stephen Lucy, a commanding figure at number 3 for Limerick. Right along the sideline, out over the line. It's a line ball to Waterford in this Munster final, coming to you live from Semple Stadium in Thurles. And Limerick are preparing Kevin Tobin, and the player who will be going off is Niall Moran. So here he comes, Kevin Tobin. Played all over the park in the last game against Tipperary, and a disappointed Niall Moran making way.
Yeah, Jaron, Limerick did this against Tip as well. Even when they were leading, they were prepared to make the changes if a lad wasn't going well. And maybe Waterford just take a look at that, because they have 2 or 3 forwards not going well and they need to be replaced.
That was a bad line ball by Paul Flynn. Mark Foley at the end of it all delivers the ball down, but only as far as Michael Welch to the centre of the park. There's an unmarked player outside. It's Flynn once again. Quick look up at the target. Oh, it bounces this time off Seamus Hickey. Still in play. John Milan chases after it. John Milan tries to make some headway. Mark O'Riordan tries to come across. Referee blows the whistle, and Waterford are incensed this time. And what's the referee going to do? Calling across Brian Geary. The linesman has Brian Geary across over there, just as Waterford were mounting an attack, and John Milan on the ground. Attention required from the physio once again, so Peter Kerwin out there to perform his magic, and that was where this challenge came across here. It was Mark O'Riordan who was making that challenge, not Brian Geary. Geary was isolated by the linesman, but this is Mark O'Riordan, who's correctly been spoken to by the referee, who shows him a yellow card.
Brian Geary was trying to goad Owen Kelly into a little bit of a sideshow, and with Kelly on the yellow card already, that's what and I don't like to see that. Stephen Lucy coming out telling the player to get up. Like Milan took a heavy knock, and just because he's been involved in a few incidents over the years, he got a knock in the head, and I don't like to see players getting involved like that. They should just get on with it.
So there's a yellow card per team, 1 for Owen Kelly in the first half, 1 now for Mark O'Riordan. And when play resumes, it's going to be a Waterford free. They haven't scored in the second half so far, which is now nearly 11 minutes old, and it's Paul Flynn once again to take it. Flynn taking it, and Flynn has put it over the bar. That's his first pointed free. Good decision to change the free taker. Kelly had missed the last 2, and Flynn puts this one over, and there's 1 between them. Limerick still leading. Brian Murray pucking it out. Listen to the fans getting right behind the 2 teams. On it spills there, and it's won back once again here by Mike O'Brien, looking for a support player. Not able to link up with anybody immediately, but reinforcements do arrive. That time it's Donald O'Grady, this time it's Peter Lawler. Lawler having a go from the middle of the park. It's going left and it's gone wide. It's tense and it's intense. Lots of mistakes being made, poor shooting choices on occasions, but it's a challenge, it's a contest, and it's a title to be won. Here comes Brian Geary, he's left it behind. Here comes Dan Shanahan for Waterford, confronted there by Seamus Hickey. Played inside here towards Malumphey. Little ball back towards Flynn. Paul Flynn darting inside, shooting! He's put it wide, amazingly. What a miss by Paul Flynn. You'd have put your SSIA money on that one to hit the back of the net, and they can't believe it, and he can't either.
Yeah, I think it was Seamus Hickey who came over here and hit him a very heavy shoulder, maybe just coming up to note with Peter Lawler, and just knocked him off his stride. But in fairness to Flynn, he did brilliantly there, and really should have put it away. But the knock here, you see, fairly high, an elbow maybe up around the head, and he's bleeding from the mouth there. But you can't blame Lawler for that. He had to do what he had to do.
It's a big miss. It's a huge miss.
But Jerry, you'd have to say the commitment of both teams is unbelievable. They're fighting for every ball. I know that it mightn't be classic hurling, but they don't have the room on the ball. They're under pressure all the time, and it's fantastically enjoyable for the supporters.
And it's won back again here by Kevin Moran, and the second time running into Ollie Moran. Moran from Waterford this time, not too far with it. Back to Donald O'Grady. Ollie Moran, haven't seen an awful lot of him in this match. Not the same authoritative figure he was in the Tipperary games. Out by Mike O'Brien, back in again by Donald O'Grady, having a go, letting fly, but he's put the ball wide.
Jerry, I don't know why they're not lobbing the ball into. Brian Begley looks sharper today to me than he has for quite some time. He was out injured a good bit earlier in the year, but he looks dangerous, and they're not playing the ball in. 2 wides from Peter Lawler, and that one there as well. Really bad wides from out the field from Donald O'Grady.
Oh, Begley's got a goal and a point. Surely they've got to give the ball into him. Here's Paul Flynn. Point from a free so far. Missed a goal moments earlier. Took a heavy knock then. Going all the way through. Still Flynn. And the referee has blown his whistle and says you handled the ball 3 times and it's a free out. Doesn't count. Seamus Roach right on the spot. Free to Limerick.
Yeah, I think he's right. Great run by Flynn. You know, geez, I didn't think he had that pace in him anymore, but he really carved up in Limerick, but he caught it 3 times, and a good decision by Seamus Roach.
Can't believe it. Fans can't believe it. Limerick holding on to their 1-point lead. Brian Geary with this free for Limerick. Down towards Begley this time. Spills loose, dropped, recovered there well by Tony Brown. Liberates himself from a couple of would-be challenges. Broken down again this time. Malumphey fed inside towards Dan Shanahan, trying to steal a march on Mark Foley. Out near the sideline, very awkward angle, almost an impossible angle, but he has made little of it with a superb score. Dan Shanahan's third, first of the second half, and the teams are level for the 7th time in this Munster Hurling final from Semple Stadium in Thurles. Dan Shanahan the hero.
Incredible score, and again, you know, Shanahan is on Mark Foley again there now, and I think that you know, Limerick are robbing Peter to pay Paul to have a rearing out on John Milan, but Shanahan scored his 3 points off Mark Foley.
For the record, Dan's had 4 shots, 3 points. Here's Mike O'Brien. Mike O'Brien lets fly, and it's over the bar, and Limerick are back in front again.
And Jerry, I just say, if a man ever deserved a point like that in the Munster final, it's Mike O'Brien. I don't think I've ever seen a more committed hurler for any county. But his shooting lets him down, but he had the heart to go for it again there, even though sometimes he shoots a lot of wides.
Seamus Prendergast back. Look at him go. Needs support, has support from Malumphey. Stephen Malumphey breezes inside. A support player is Flynn. Let's fly! What a save! It's a goal! It's a goal! Dan Shanahan has scored another goal for Waterford after a terrific save by Brian Murray, and Dan Shanahan has got his 14th ever goal in Championship Hurling. This is how it came about. This is Malumphey, this is Flynn. Watch the save, watch for Dan Shanahan, and it's 1-11 to 1-9, and Waterford lead.
Gerard, one of the great passages of play you'll ever see in any match. Seamus Prendergast, a brilliant ball across the field to Malumphey, great pass inside to Flynn, and what a save from Brian Murray. And Shanahan definitely outside the square. How many goals has he scored like that? But what a passage of play from Waterford, they're fantastic.
Limerick held their lead for 13 minutes. That's Jack Kennedy, number 15 down there in the thick of the action.
Yeah, Michael Fitzgerald got involved then. Yeah, Michael Fitzgerald got involved after the play, and with Jack Kennedy and the ref going to throw in the ball now. And then there was a bit of afterwards with him as well. But Gerard, to go back to that goal, you couldn't maybe see it on television, but Seamus Prendergast was moving up the left wing, and he played an unbelievable ball into the centre. He spotted Malumphey from the corner of his eye. Malumphey carried a great pass to Paul Flynn, and what a save from Brian Murray. I've never seen a save from 10 yards from Paul Flynn. And Dan Shanahan then, as he's done many times in the past, on hand to finish it off. But well, really brilliant goal.
Yellow cards for Mike Fitzgerald and for Jack Kennedy. It should have been a free. Ah, now come on, lads, please. Who wants to steal a march here now? Well, fair play to John Milan. He's gone to Crufts. John wants a different prize.
The poor dog was fairly shook looking, in fairness. Look at this for a shot and save. Incredible
what a terrific save, wasn't it?
Paul Flynn was only 9 yards out, 10 yards out, one of the hardest shots in the game, and a brilliant save.
So Waterford by 2. 18 minutes into the second half. Quarter of the game still to play. Referee's been busy. It'll be a throw ball. And it comes back towards Barry Foley. Hasn't scored so far. Little hand pass in. Recovered there well by Declan Prendergast. Played outside here as far as Owen Murphy, and the Shamrocks man with his team 2 points to the good. Under pressure again. Barry Foley has it back once again. Fires it from the 45-metre line. Inside towards big Brian Begley. Batted out by Prendergast once again. Comes back out into the centre of the park. Here's Barry Foley once more. Standing firm. Running into challenges. Takes too much out of it. Free against Limerick. Free to Waterford. He's disappointed. He was closed down by the sheer weight of numbers all around him.
He was, Gerald. He got the ball a couple of times with men loose. You know, sometimes when you haven't scored, the desperation, he was trying to get a score to maybe stay on the field, and really he should have thrown one of those balls around. There was men loose outside him.
We've already had one Tobin in, Kevin. We're going to have Pat in fairly soon. Right now, it's Limerick who get the ball back. Peter Lawler. They're behind by 2. Needing possession, Barry Foley, surrounded by Waterford players. Again, a good little block and a hook that time. Back it comes once again towards Barry Foley. Spills loose instead towards Ollie Moran. One-handed forward here. That's as far as Kevin Tobin, and that is gone away to the left-hand side. Unable to reproduce the magic of 2 weeks ago when Tipperary were the opponents in Páirc na Gael. Barry Foley is being withdrawn, and Pat Tobin from Maruboher is on. Not Barry Foley's day, but you never know. A long way to go.
Yeah, but Limerick have had a lot of ball, you know, and really they could rue these chances. They're hitting a lot of wides.
That is Kevin Tobin, and that's over the bar, spectacularly so, by the man who came on as substitute about 5 or 6 minutes ago, and the margin is down to 111 to 110. There's going to be a change now. James Murray is coming on for Kevin Moran. There he is in the red helmet. James Murray, one of the fittest players in Championship hurling, and Kevin Moran makes way. Michael Walsh, Waterford's captain. Will he be receiving the Munster Cup? Will we get a winner here today? John Milan, if he has his way, would like to think so. And John Milan has fired over his second point, and Waterford have a 2-point lead. The rain may spill down. The fans couldn't care less. They want to see another victory. 3 victories in 6 years. That's what they're looking for in the Munster Championship. 112 to 111. Great score. It's back with Donald O'Grady for Limerick once again. Fed inside, bounces away off the stick of Mike Fitzgerald. Comes back once more. This time it's to Owen Murphy. Played outside. A couple of Waterford players there waiting for it. Limerick men get it, however. It's Tobin once again, firing it back in and putting it over the bar. Magnificently over. What a score that was from the centre of the park. A huge distance out. 112 to 111, and a second for Kevin Tobin. What a substitution. They always are great substitution when they work out. Here's Dan Shanahan. Seamus Prendergast dragging it forward towards Milan. Comes back again towards Shanahan. Outside to Milan, balances it with difficulty. Rain comes down, keeps it away from Mark O'Riordan. Has a go, let's go, and he puts it over the bar. And John Milan, the artist, has put another one over the bar. Milan with his third, and it is 113 to 111. Great scoring now by both teams. This is Milan at his very best.
Absolutely, Joe. You'd have to say there might be a number of bad wides, but really some of the scores have been absolutely fantastic. Conditions out there are savage tough at the moment. The rain is pouring down, and Milan has scored 2 great points there, sandwiched in between 2 great ones from Kevin Tobin.
Well, there is a problem for one of the Waterford players. It's Jack Kennedy. Jack, who was yellow carded a little while ago. This time it's an injury that's causing him some distress. Just listen to the fans, and I haven't given you the full attendance today, but it is 48,371. Huge attendance. It's been a very good Munster Championship. First game, Cork versus Clare, not the greatest. Then that compelling trilogy of games between Limerick and Tip. That wonderful game between Cork and Waterford, and this final is having its moments. 2 between them. That's broken again, and 1. That's superbly taken by Ollie Moran. Questions been asked by Ken McGrath. Referee had the whistle to his lips. Just watch again this huge leap in the air. Free awarded. Andrew O'Shaughnessy to take it. Limerick have come back from the dead in the past. They're only 2 points adrift here. We have about 12 minutes of the 70 to go. He scored 3, and O'Shaughnessy leaves it short this time. and it's whipped in and it's put over the bar, beautifully over, and that is the substitute Pat Tobin. 1 point the margin. That's Brian Begley, but it was Pat Tobin who got it. Watch the little man with the black helmet fire it over the bar. Great score. Broken down by Donal O'Grady. Picked up here by Seamus Prendergast. Wretched conditions for the players. Pouring rain. He does well. Gets it forward towards Dan Shanahan. Trying to steal a march, and Stephen Lucy out over the line. Line ball will be to Waterford.
Yeah, Gerard, I suggested earlier there mightn't be any great tactics, but I see now Owen Kelly has withdrawn right down the field and as a sort of across his own half back line and left Mark Foley loose. So it'll be interesting to see. I think with a strong breeze that's blowing down the field, you know, you shouldn't really be leaving a player like Mark Foley loose. He can unleash the ball 80, 90, 100 yards, and you're better off, I think, for Waterford to stay as an orthodox unit.
Let's see what Paul Flynn can do with this. The man who plays for Ballygunner. And the gunner fires it in, and it's stopped with difficulty by Brian Murray. Handled with care, released outside to a support player who was Brian Geary. Way down the field. Taken up here by James Murray, the substitute. Waterford hold on to it. This is the man that Michael was talking about. Owen Kelly letting fly from an enormous distance out, and Owen Kelly puts it over. First of the second half for him, fourth in all.
Gerard,
Here
I think
he is.
you'd have to be here, I think, to appreciate how good a score that is. Into the wind with driving rain into his face, and Milan's 2 last points as well. They're just incredible scores from Waterford, and they're really showing that they want to win this Munster Championship. But Limerick have been involved in tight finishes over the last few weeks. Who are they going to get tired? What's going to happen? And now you see Mark Foley moving up the field to pick up Kelly, because he's now saying it's amazing how these things can work out. Kelly got the point, so now Foley has to go, and that's what Waterford want. They want 5 forwards, they want room up. They only want 5 to make room for their own forwards.
Well, we're looking at Stephen Malumphey here, clearly in some difficulty. Jack Kennedy is being replaced by Owen McGrath. That's a definite. Justin McCarthy and the selectors have just made that change. Well, Stephen Malumphey, the NUIG student, is ready to continue because there's a title to be won, and we're in the 62nd minute of 70. 114 for Waterford, 112 for Limerick. A compelling Munster hurling final as Murray pucks it out again. And Limerick look for some possession and some chances, and Waterford deny them again. And again it is Michael Welch. Fired in. Beyond Owen Kelly. Inside towards Dan Shanahan. He's got 1. He's got 2. Dan Shanahan scores a second goal in the Munster final. And this one comes in the 63rd minute. So, 11 minutes after the first, Limerick were cruelly exposed, and no better man than Dan to hit the back of the net. This is where he was breezing in and emphatically struck it past Brian Murray. At the other end, Mark Foley stopped. Everybody trying to get some possession of the ball, and it's Ollie Moran who gets there, and Moran will not give up in a hurry. That's over the bar. That's his first point. If they're going to produce another renaissance, they've only got about 7 minutes in which to do it.
Yeah, which are the tactic there. I was talking about what they were trying to do. Justin McCarthy's after winning that battle, he drew out Owen Kelly out the field. Limerick sent Mark Foley with him, left a big gap inside, and Big Dan ghosted in behind. And you know, really, Limerick shouldn't have blinked so quick. You know, Kelly had got 1 point from out the field. That wasn't going to cost him the game, but that goal certainly will.
There's another change, and Paulie O'Dwyer has come on for Mike O'Brien for Limerick. Late opportunities. It was a jersey pull there. The referee didn't see it. If he did, he said play on. Brian Begley has it, and Brian Begley from the angle puts it over the bar, and it's not over yet. A goal and 2 points now for Brian Begley, and there's a goal between them, and there's still plenty of time. The referee must have allowed an advantage. He has to have seen the jersey pull by Aidan Carney. Begley scores 2-14 to 1-14.
Yeah, and we won't be accusing Limerick of lacking heart. You know, 2 great points, having gone 5 behind, another team would have given up, but absolutely there's no give up in this Limerick team.
Certainly isn't. That's Brian Geary struggling to get it, however. And it's Owen Kelly once again. Referee again blows the whistle. Waterford have a player on the ground. It's going to be Limerick's free. Player on the ground appears to be Owen Kelly. So again, he will require some attention. And the clock is now very definitely the enemy of Limerick in this particular match. Spilled away from him.
Yeah, he got a knock on the head from behind, from the hurl from behind. He got a nice nick. And just, I see it's Pat Tobin there from behind. Just getting a nick there on the side of the head. And the free had been given against Kelly. Really, it should have been a free to Waterford there.
Well, it's a free to Limerick, that much we do know. And Limerick's last 5 attempts at scores have all been points. Now, what can they hatch? What can they come up with? Anthony O'Riordan there, one of the selectors, alongside Richie Bettis. On the head-to-head between Dan Shanahan and Ollie Moran, well, Dan has quite clearly won that with his 2 goals and 3 points to a solitary point scored by the other number 11. There's still time. Brian Geary from Monaleen to take the free. He's lobbed it to the right, and it's a wasted chance. They wanted it lobbed into the square. They wanted it in there with Brian Begley.
Yeah, Dan Shanahan just ghosting in here behind. Did very well. That's a super first touch in the conditions, but had a quick look around, and Dan doesn't miss many from there. Great low shot, unstoppable.
So those 2 goals by Dan Shanahan in the second half have been highly instrumental in setting Waterford up. They're in a winning position. 4 minutes to go. They have the free. Ken McGrath, no particular hurry. Referee reminding him that time will be added on. McGrath from Mount Sion, ready to lob it in again. Going for the score himself. Let's fly. Brilliant accuracy. That's his first of the day. But what a crucial one it is. That could be the banking score. 2:15 to 1:14. Looking good for the men from the Dacia. Limerick not finished yet. Brian Murray, they try to win it again from that puck out. Waterford there in considerable numbers, and again it's Ken McGrath. Trip this time. Went down over the sideline anyway, but it's most definitely going to be Waterford possession. And what a job Justin McCarthy has done over the 6 years he's been in charge. They've been close to getting to an All-Ireland final. That is their #1 target, no doubt about that. But to win a 3rd Munster, what a record that is. Tony Brown to hit this. And the referee is going to decide against Waterford. I think he's going to throw the ball in. So time wasting results in Waterford getting penalised.
Yeah, but what you didn't see there when that ball came in from the line ball, Owen McGrath went to flick the ball, and Mark Foley has received a nasty knock on the side of the head. And I just feel at times referees get, it was taking another few seconds. What difference was it going to make? And Limerick had 1 possession from it. And now Mark Foley got a belt after the whistle was blown off Owen McGrath.
Well, they're going to have to bring on a blood substitute, and that looks to be Maurice O'Brien, who's on, while the number 7, who's played his heart out, can receive the attention and can get back in very, very quickly.
Well, you had a big stoppage earlier too over a throw-in, there was a free, and then there was a throw-in given, and the players were booked, and that's what happens on days like this when there's a lot of passion at stake. I think you're better off to let those line balls go ahead.
So it's helter-skelter once again, and once more Tony Brown has it, bottled up, trying to get the ball away. Limerick trying to get the ball in. That's Michael Welch. In the end, it is John Milan playing a left corner back way up towards Owen McGrath, putting the pressure on Stephen Lucy once again. McGrath coming, nipping in again. He's got Dan Shanahan near him, never gave it to him. goes for the score and puts it over and punches the air with delight. Owen McGrath's first score since coming on as substitute, and it is 2 goals and 16 points now for Waterford, 1 goal and 14 points for Limerick.
Yeah, a real goal chance as well. You know, I think if Owen McGrath had just flicked it into Big Dan, he was gone inside again, and really you can see the space out there. There's only one Waterford forward inside the 50-yard line or the 45-metre line, and that Waterford are going to create goal chances with that type of room.
Limerick have made great advances during this championship, but is this to be as far as they will get in Munster? Remember, they will still be in the quarter-final of the All-Irelands as we watch this once again come in from a huge distance from Paul Flynn. That's his second. 3 shots in all he took, 2 of them going over the bar, and it's 2:17 to 1:14. And there are going to be 3 minutes added on to the 70, and we're almost into that now. Seamus Prendergast once again firing it forward. Here's Dan Shanahan. That's 3. He's got the hat-trick, and Dan Shanahan's championship tally of goals is now 16. When you consider that he had never scored in the championship before the start of the 2004 championship, my goodness, how he's turned it around. But look at the gap, look how easy it became, and Dan Shanahan makes it 3 goals and 17 points to 1 goal and 14. Well, the end result here scarcely does Limerick full justice and full credit. This was a much tighter game for so long, as we watch Pat Tobin have a lash from some distance and put the ball to the right and wide.
It was, Ger, but the turning point came about 15 minutes ago. As I said a couple of times already in the commentary, Waterford withdrew Owen Kelly out of the forward line. He moved back down to play in front of his own half-back line, and Limerick should have left their spare defender at the back. Instead they moved him forward, they left the room, and Dan Shanahan just cruised in for those 2 goals.
13 wides for Limerick. Been a sad tale for them, as Owen Kelly once again playing back there, drives it in, broken down again. Seamus Hickey, everybody after it. Owen McGrath, so too is a recovered Mark Foley, and Foley drives it back down. They'll be interested now to see what the draw holds for them. That'll be coming up pretty soon on the Sunday game, not to be missed. Ollie Moran, again they battle. It's tough, it's hard. Here's Malumphy, one of the heroes, kicking it ahead, only as far as Donald O'Grady. Deep into stoppage time. Another minute of additional time will be played before we know that Waterford are about to be crowned Munster champions once again. Limerick build and look for something here. It's in towards Begley. It breaks. It's missed initially. It's recovered there well by Declan Prendergast. And it's out over the end line, and that is another 65 and a bout of fisticuffs to boot. Thankfully, doesn't get out of hand, because the players have enough common sense to realise that this game is well and truly resolved.
Dan has his 3-3, trying to get the lads to calm down. You know, there's no point of man getting sent off. The game is over now. I think Declan Prendergast got a knockdown on top of the head, and he drove a small bit of a boot there. Nothing major.
Well, it's about Justin McCarthy's day, it's about Waterford's day, it's about their fans' day. And Dan Shanahan with his 3 goals and 3 points. Tony Brown back there, playing with the youthful verve that he had 9 years ago. Mention of youth, here's young Seamus Hickey. Into the melting pot it comes. Late chance maybe. Stopped once again. And that's Ken McGrath back there, and the Waterford fans are waiting for the referee's whistle. It is yet to sound as it's returned by Peter Lawler, and once again it's Aidan Carney defiantly holding on to possession, and that is it. Waterford are the Munster hurling champions for 2007. Shamie Hannon and the rest can celebrate. Dan Shanahan can celebrate. He finishes with a personal tally of 3 goals and 3 points. Magnificent scoring. But as Michael Duignan was saying, it is Waterford who did the tactics right. Richie Bennis built his side from 12 months ago where they appear to be going nowhere fast. They've reached the Munster final. They're still in the championship. They'll be in the quarter-finals. Seamus Prendergast and company, however, have the medals, and Waterford have the title for the third time in 6 years.
Yeah, Jaron, you'd have to say, Limerick have made this summer with 3 great matches against Tip. There's no way they deserve to be beaten by 9 points today out there, but really it's all about Waterford's day. I think when the going got tough halfway through the second half, the chance it dawned on some of their players that we're not going to win this unless we up for performance, and for the last 20 minutes they were absolutely brilliant. And I think sitting at home with you can't really appreciate how tough the conditions were. Some of those scores in that last 20 minutes from John Milan, Owen Kelly, Paul Flynn, and particularly Dan Shannon, they were just incredible scores in those conditions. Limerick can look back and say they hit bad wides, of which they did at a crucial time, but they've played a major part in a great Munster Championship, and that was a fantastic match today in very difficult conditions, and all credit to them, and we look forward to seeing Limerick. They'll regroup and be back in the qualifiers.
They certainly have made enormous progress. There's no doubt about that. I know they are down and downcast this afternoon, Limerick, but it's Waterford who are coming up to celebrate, and Michael Waltz from Stradbally is coming to claim the cup. Justin McCarthy appointed him the captain. He doesn't come from one of the bigger clubs, but he's a very big captain and a very good leader, and that's what the team management wanted. And very shortly now they will be lifting the trophy and they will be celebrating. But it is just one step, they will feel, towards the ultimate in their case, because what they are really, really looking for is to play in the All-Ireland final. Will this be their year? They've gone close so often.
Yeah, Jerry, you'd say, really it looks like Cork, Kilkenny and Waterford. I know it's a cliche, I'm not giving away too many secrets there, but really the 3 of them teams look to be just on a level ahead of the rest at the moment. And on their day, Waterford are certainly a match for anyone. To win this Munster Championship again, to come through the front door is going to give them huge confidence. And Kilkenny and Cork will know that Waterford are up there with them as leading contenders for the All-Ireland. Cork have had their bit of motivation through the suspensions. Waterford have theirs, and Kilkenny are obviously the team to beat. So what a championship we have to look forward to.
Coming low Tasquil, August Cardielic.
And it only gets going now. We're down to the last 8. We've had a lot of hurling. It's really down to the knockout now. Nobody has gone out of the championship up onto these quarter-finals.
Lesson Rator, August Efigi, Buwala Mobuikas, Mar Oberwan Agwifshid. As chairman of the Munster Council, I would like to congratulate both teams on a wonderful game of hurling. A final to compare with the many epics we have seen on this famed sod. I would like to thank the referee, his umpires and his linesmen for the excellent job they did in handling the game. To the management committee and ground staff of Semple Stadium, I say well done. Everything was in apple pie order. I would also like to welcome today Mr. Michael Whelan of Guinness. Thank Guinness for their sponsorship and to say we appreciate it very much. I suppose I could say to Limerick, you came here today on the back of 3 Titanic struggles with Tipperary. You proved that those games were no flash in the pan. And I've no doubt you did your county, your club and your followers proud. And you will make a fair impact before this year is over. To Waterford, I say, you came today with a big reputation. You came as league champions. You came after a fantastic win over Cork in the semi-final. And you proved beyond all doubt today that you are worthy Munster champions. And on behalf of Munster Council, I would like to send out a clear message to those people who say you have to shift the Munster Championship, we need to put it into other provinces. The Munster Championship belongs to Munster and will stay in Munster. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present the cup to the captain of the Munster Senior Hurling Champions for 2007. from Stradbally, Michael Brick Walsh.
Waterford are champions of Munster for the 7th time, and Michael Walsh lifts the trophy. Champions in Munster once again. Right, let's go down and get some reaction to that. Let's go down to a reporter, to Ivan Nicolin.
Thanks very much, Chair. Well, we've brought Owen Kelly and little Sean in out of the rain because it's getting very messy down here. But Owen, I don't think the rain is going to dampen your spirits this evening.
No, it was a hard-fought win, and we done our best to get there in the end. You have to win the ugly way, I suppose, as well. And thank God we got there in the rain today.
Sean is very fond of the microphone. You had some great leaders on the pitch there today, but what about Dan Shannon? He doesn't know how to do things by halves, does he?
No, he loves the goals, I think, at this stage. I think the captain there receiving the cup now was man of the match. He was outstanding. He covered every blade of grass, and there was a lot of leaders today, and I think everyone grinded out and done it the hard way. You can't do it the fancy way the whole time. We grinded out a good result today. They're a great team,
Looking forward to the quarterfinals then, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the quarterfinals. We've 2 out of 3. As the song goes, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We have to win the third one too.
Thanks very much, Owen. Well done. Sorry about that. The was going crazy.
We've a huge backroom team, lads, and without them, we wouldn't be here today. I've a lot to say well done to the Hurling carriers, Paul, Roger, Derek, and Shamey. The Doc, Tom Higgins. The physios, Peter Cowan and Emma Cummins. Jim D and Sean Power, who work behind the scenes. Then lads, to the management group, who take a lot of the flack when things go wrong. First of all, Jerry Fitzpatrick, the man who has us finishing well in all the games. To the selectors, Shamey Hannon, Nicky Cashin, and Michael Ryan. And to one man more than most, who has brought Waterford on over the last couple of years. And a big cheer for Justin McCarthy. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Clonbia, the county board for the work they've put in behind the scenes, and all the various committees around the country who have always looked after us, never seen us short. And finally, to today's game. It was one of the toughest games we play all year, and we're delighted we came out on top. But great credit goes to Limerick, who have set the championship alight, I suppose, with their last 3 games. So 3 cheers for Limerick. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! And we'll enjoy this one tonight, lads.
There's absolutely no doubt that Michael Brick Walsh and his teammates will certainly enjoy their Munster Championship win. It's their 2nd trophy of the year, of course, having won the National League already. And will they win a 3rd? That's the big question. But for the moment, as Michael said, they're going to enjoy their Munster Championship success. Cyril Farrell, Tomás McCahey with me here in studio. Cyril, your reaction to all of that?
Yeah, they deserved to win. They fought out a hard win. And like in the second half, they played more as a team. In the first half, they were getting narky with the ref when things weren't happening. They expected it to happen too easy. But when they had to, when the back, Limerick were coming hard, and went down to a point or 2 points, and next thing they opened up. And the big difference was, okay, Dan got kind of loose for a couple of goals and took them well, but Waterford scored 3-8 in the second half. Now that's a great score against a nice breeze here, whereas Limerick only got 9 points, and that makes a difference. It's tough luck on Limerick to get beaten that kind of a score. Like Waterford realised it wasn't that much in it, but the better team won. And I don't think it's going to be a great championship, because like these guys are going for their 3rd title, and to me like there should be favourites to win it.
It was like Waterford were pushing against the wall, trying to break it down. Eventually it collapsed.
Yeah, but I mean, I must say, I think Limerick committed a small bit of suicide there in the last 10 minutes as well, because look at the space and the time that Dan has got to get it in behind these markers and stuff as well, you know. And at that stage in the game, Michael, there was only 2 or 3 points in it. Limerick were still very much in the game, and I mean, that's the way Waterford wanted it. They wanted it to open up. They wanted the space for Milan. They wanted the space for Dan Shannon to get in. And as we've seen in the past, Dan has this habit of drifting in behind the half hour or the half back line, even in behind the full back line. And even though McGrath's point there that he took in the end, there was Dan all alone inside again waiting for a pass, and then he could have got 4 goals, you know. So I mean, Limerick in defence needed to keep it tight, but unfortunately they didn't.
Okay, we have a break to take here. Back here at Semple Stadium in Thurles, Waterford have been crowned Munster Hurling champions for 2007. A look at the stats from that match. The scoreline first up. Of course, they won it by 317 to 114. Waterford pulling away in the last 7-8 minutes of that match. Possession between the two sides, and your screens through there. The scoring chances. Well, Limerick took just 15 scores in the 26 that they created, almost just half the chances there. Waterford had 30 scoring chances, 20 scores in those. Most of those, it has to be said, from Dan Shanahan. 10 whites for Waterford, 13 for Limerick, and the yellow cards as well there on the screen for you. You know, Cyril Farrell, in the second half, 10-15 minutes in the second half, Limerick were in with a great shout of winning this. Mike Fitzgerald scored 2 fantastic points that really indicated Limerick's tails were up at that stage. Yeah, things are going right from them. Even at half time, they've been happy enough. Okay, they're a point on. This Mike Fitzgerald has probably been the best, has been the find of the season for Limerick. Here again, now this ball flicks around here, and he's very, very accurate. Gets a ball that he probably shouldn't get, goes back, going to swing back out here now in a moment. Gets onto it here, and he's very good in his left, bang over the bar. And at this stage, you'd feel if Limerick could have drove on from there, but like they were kind of starved of possession after a while up for now. This guy is good. He got 3 points today, played in his first real championship season. Like he would be one of the new guys in the block. After that, you'd expect Limerick to drive on, and they were on top for times because Waterford were under pressure at this stage. Things weren't going right. But Tony Brown is here. The ball is ready, should have cleared, blocked down, hassle, like a ball that would be gone other days. And next thing it goes back to Limerick, cutting through again, and here's Fitz again over the bar again. The Limerick crowd at this stage would feel that the momentum was with them. That's a ball that usually now Waterford would have cleared. Tony gets hassled, blocked down, ball breaks inside again to Fitz, and this time on his right side. Left side probably his favourite one, right side over the bar. So at that stage, they were in the driving seat, even though they were just that little point or two behind the whole time. At that stage also, we were kind of asking ourselves, were Waterford, if they were going to be champions, were they going to be able to step up to the mark? Dan Shannon just savaged them, basically. Yeah, I mean, when the game is going against you, you need leaders and you need your big players certainly to stand up. And I mean, this is a great ball by Prendergrass across. This is a guy that impressed me today, Mullumphey. I thought he was actually outstanding for Waterford. Game. It's a great ball across the Flynn. What a save. And there's Dan to react. People are saying maybe he was in the square. Limerick backs were actually complaining that he was in the square. But when you watch it again, look where Dan's position is. He's not in the square. It's great reaction by Dan, and that was the start of the treble to come, And I mean, he's a player that's in form, but is a player that has this ability to get the goals as well, And I think this is the second one. It's a high ball that's coming across. He's roaring here. He's roaring for it to be left, right? But it's a great first touch to flick it over Stephen Lucy. Okay, you look at it from this side or the angle from behind the goal, you maybe say the goalkeeper should have blocked it, but he did everything right. He shortened the grip, and knocked it into the ground. And in wet conditions, greasy conditions, it slid past Brian Murray in goal, But it was great play by Dan Shannon himself. He'd done the damage at that stage, obviously, Cyril, but he celebrated then with another goal right at the end, just to put the 5th goal, I think, in the championship. The crowd roaring big Dan is the man, like Dan is the man around. But what's happened here really now is Mark Foley's gone off to get blood off, get it cleared up. Now this ball comes in. And like there's look at this. Foley's just coming back on. He's running. He has no chance of catching, and Dan doesn't slip up like that. Like you'd have to say really that Limerick committed suicide in the last 7 or 8 minutes. He's not going to miss these. Like Foley was gone off. I don't know where all the blood. So like there's no way a fella should come off the pitch until the other lad is on. And like maybe it is against the rules, but like you're there to win. Suicide in the end. Limerick will wonder, they'll have to look at the tape and say, listen lads, we could have won this game, okay we didn't, that scoreline is false. They'll get a lot out of it, even though they'll be heartbroken tonight to think kind of the last 7 or 8 minutes they lost their way. It's kind of a case of something's got to give, and it gave against them. It did, no doubt about that, And I mean, Limerick with the introduction of the substitutions, the 2 Tobins got great scores themselves, and they were pushing home the advantage. But I felt that they hadn't brought this full forward line enough into play. I mean, Brian Begley was causing a bit of problems. It took him a long time in the second half even to get ball inside there, and kept them starved of possession inside, and they never really looked at kind of a threatening to go the way the gaps opened up for Waterford there in the second half. But in the hurling against Tomas, it's kind of improving every day. The team that has the wind are trying to shoot from outside. Again with Waterford in the second half, when they started carrying and played into space, they were a lot more dangerous. And that's happening in a lot of the games with this championship. Limerick will take a lot out of this going forward. I mean, it was the one that Waterford had needed to win because they'd have asked more questions about Waterford if they've lost. Limerick can take a lot of pride out of the game today. Okay. And then they got 2 goals after that, and
I thought your defence was outstanding though today.
Oh yeah, couldn't fault them. All round they were good. Our team was good. The conditions weren't easy out there, but it was the same for both sides. But that's it. Our team performed very well. We were very proud of them.
Do you think the trilogy of matches against Tipperary took its toll on the players, or was it something that made them hungrier, I suppose, coming into this match?
I think it helped them because I don't think we had 2 weeks of a break, and I wouldn't have that as an excuse.
I suppose you have an extra match under your belt now going into the quarterfinals. That'll always help too.
Yeah, that'll help, and we're Waterford are still only at the quarterfinals,
well, yeah.
But a bit of silver would be handy at this stage.
Yeah.
We've nothing to show for our 4 matches.
Looking at now that you've played Waterford, now that you've played them and that they've held it up to you, what would you expect? Would you expect to see them there in September?
Oh, I said they'd be one of the top 2 or 3 there. They'll be there or thereabouts. And we might have a little say yet.
You will too. Thanks very much, Richie.
No problem.
Take care.
Okay.
Well, Dan Shanahan is the RTE Sunday Game Man of the Match for the Munster Hurling Final of 2007. Dan, congratulations. A tally of 3-3 all from play will do that for you. You're second of the season. Tell us, how does it feel going home as a Munster champion today?
Yeah, it was very good. We won the league there a few weeks ago, and Justin said at the start of the year to get 3 cups. We've 2 done now. We're not going to get carried away again. It's nice. Limerick gave us a hell of a battle today, but I think we deserved it in the end, so.
Plenty of confidence going forward then for the rest of the summer, do you reckon?
Yeah, I suppose we'll have to win the Munster final in the league, we're on kind of a high, we'll say. We're not going to get carried away or anything like that, but it'll probably be Galway or some other team next that'll be waiting us in the wing, so. The quarter-finals on is the main thing, so we've 2 out of 3 and not too bad, but we're not going to carry it away.
Well, don't play down how good that team is. You're looking forward to the quarter-finals, I'm sure.
Of course we are, yeah. Like some people said we couldn't play in the rain, so I think you proved them wrong today, so we're a fine day team. I don't think so, but no, we're delighted. I accept this on behalf of the lads. I'm thrilled, but I'm accepted on behalf of my teammates.
Okay, thanks very much, Dan. Safe home. That's perfect. Justin, first of all, congratulations. A happy man. You're smiling already. 3 in 6 years.
Yeah, it was great. It was a tough game. At half time, we had to kind of get ourselves sorted out. We wouldn't have won any game the way we played in the first half, so we asked the lads to cut loose a little bit and stand up and be counted and start hurling. And of course they did that, and we got great scores in the second half, which scored the great goals. Dan's goals were outstanding.
As you said, it was a very competitive match, particularly in the first half. But in the last 10 minutes, what do you think the difference was? Was it Dan Shanahan?
Well, scores, as you know, they make the game and they can kill off a team. If there's points, it wouldn't be as hard. But Limerick are a great team too. Don't forget, they didn't die out of it. They kept, plugging away. But we have a lot of experience, which probably helped us in the long run. I think the experienced players, the older players, and some new lads we brought in, they're hurling well too.
It has to be said though, their defence was outstanding today too.
Yeah, well, fellas had to, we left in a few soft goals against Cork. I wasn't happy with it. So, today was a day for standing up and, making sure that we weren't going to be soft around the full back line or half back line either.
Today is all about celebrating the Munster title, but a lot of people will expect an awful lot from this Waterford team now. With that done and with that kind of in the bag, I suppose, what can we expect? Can we see them there in September?
Well, we have a quarter final now next, and we'll have to keep our feet in the ground, not to get carried away, because every team is well trained and well motivated to win. So I think all these games basically are 50-50 games kind of, and if they be able to take your chance, the game will stand to us today. But having said that, any team that we're playing in the quarter final is going to be tough too.
You'll be keeping a keen eye on the draw then later on this evening.
Yeah.
Any preference for opposition?
No, not really. No, one is as hard as the other.
You'd never say that anyway. Congratulations again, Justin.
Thank you very much.